New owner operator thinking about your operations, one major thing to consider, factoring. So here are some big details and very important topics that Mike is going to share his story when considering to choose your factoring company for the very first time. So top of the key, do they really need industry knowledge, or is just any financial, company good enough?
No, I think you wanna work with a factoring company that actually does specialize in transportation and trucking, and there is obviously plenty of those. Pretty easy to find. So why choose some bank that has nothing to do with trucking?
Yeah.
And then do all the legwork yourself when there are plenty of companies that actually do specialize in that, and we're gonna give you a lot of value for the cost of what you're gonna end up paying them.
Okay, and I mean that kind of leads right into the next topic, which is like the reputation. So you're gonna see all kind of reviews and all of that, but what should one really, really be looking for? What assets part of the reputation is important?
I mean, at the end of the day, that's a financial institution, and financial security, the money do we have the money to pay and so on?
Yeah.
Is that something that you can test? I don't know, but I would say do your homework. I think if you want the most professional approach with the best bang for your buck, just Google, whatever top 10 factoring companies for trucking in the United States, and you can't go wrong with those. Obviously, negotiate the rate, but at the end of the day, you don't want to. I'm not gonna call any names, but I actually seen some less than ideal scenarios with one new factoring company. I mean, it's no longer new,
right,
and it's in business, and I think it does well right now. But I remember when we just started doing factoring, and certain things that we were doing was less than ideal. So if you want the professional treatment without any shenanigans, you want to stick with big boys, and then you can always make a change later. And if you want to know more about factoring, as a matter of fact, we can help you out to get set up and negotiate the rate for you with a factoring company of your choice, or you can follow our recommendations. Sign up for our class.
Yeah, give us a call at 863-342-5171. Find out what spots are available and how you can squeeze into one.
Yeah, if you're starting a trucking company and looking for good information, that's a must-attend class. It's going to save you a lot of money and set you for success.
Right, so that kind of rolls into the next one, which is the fees. I mean, what is, you're just getting started. Like, in my mind, how much power do you really have to negotiate that fee? I mean,
I say in my experience, anybody starting up, you're gonna be anywhere between 3 and 5%. That's gonna be the base fee, and you also need to pay attention to the other fees. So, for example, there is gonna be sometimes factoring companies we will charge you a fixed percentage plus the fee per invoice, the fee for this, the fee for that. And especially when you're new and you're just starting up, all those fees can be actually a lot more money than that percentage that you're paying them.
Oh man, look at that.
So for example, let's just use the actual numbers, an actual example. Let's say you start up, you get 4% rate, but then the factoring company is charging you let's say $2.50 per invoice on top of that.
Okay.
Then right now, obviously, a lot of stuff is electronic already, so we rarely change the actual physical paperwork.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes the customers require actual physical paperwork. So, for example, factoring company a lot of times is gonna give you some sort of shipping option. Because if you're gonna ship, via FedEx overnight or whatever, if you did a $250 load and you overnighting it for $65 via FedEx, is not gonna be a good business. So a lot of trucking companies, a lot of factoring companies are going to give you some sort of option to use their preferred method, like UPS or FedEx, and it's going to be fixed cost, like $10 per shipment or whatnot.
Yeah.
Which again, you're paying for that. As you grow, a couple of things. To pay $10 of the $100,000 worth of invoices is not the same as paying $10 of $1,000 worth of invoices.
Right.
So as you get bigger and the more stuff you start moving around, the less per dollar you spend to bill.
Right. So now the flexibility of the contract, or the terms of it, how important is that when you're first getting started? I mean, like, because you probably got so many other things that you got to focus on. How important is that flexibility? And is that the hill to die on right there?
Yes and no. You always have to negotiate the best deal. But at the end of the day, as a startup, a lot of times you will have a limited ability to negotiate because nobody cares really. So at the end of the day, if I was to start right now, it's been a while since the last time I negotiated that rate for a startup. So it's kind of I don't know. Maybe I'm a little outdated. But I would say it's safe to say that your percentage is going to be anywhere between 3 and 4.5% to start. And then everything else will be the fees. And I think the fees are very important. So I say, if you're getting 3%, this is probably the best that you can do as a startup.
Right.
There is going to be no less than that. A lot of people, some people are paid 5%. And then, so I would just say, as long as you stay within 3 and 4.5%, you're probably all right. I would say stay closer to 3, because I know the factoring company where you can go right now and get 3%. Look at the fees, because some factoring companies are going to have outrageous fees. It's going to add you another 4.5%.
So you're better off paying 4% with lower fees than...
So just look for a transparent company, pay attention to the fees. One thing that every factoring company is going to try to sell you is no recourse. So we're going to tell you, for 1 extra percent, we will buy all the invoices at no recourse, which means that you're gonna get paid no matter what, even if the customer is not paying, which is bullshit. It's actually a trick, and we all gonna try to use it. No recourse means this: that if the broker, let's say, goes bankrupt, and there is no money in the bond left,
okay,
that's when we're gonna still buy it. Also, but again, that's not happening very often.
No, so they make it sound like, hey, just because they don't pay, whether they never got the original or like...
Yes, but it's gonna sound like you just send us the bills and you don't worry about nothing. And it's gonna sound like, oh, don't worry about no damages, don't worry about any claims, that's not what it means. It means literally, we only gonna pay it if everything with a load checks out perfectly, and then broker either goes bankrupt, or the broker is not gonna pay you and provide no reason. We just in business, we just continue running the business, and we're just not paying you because fuck you.
Yeah. So.
And that's the only thing it means. But usually the factoring company is gonna push, like, an extra percent, at least an extra percent, just for that. And let me tell you, in all the years in business, I haven't seen a single situation that would help me to get paid on that specific aspect of no recourse.
Yeah, but if you take all this time in business, 1%, that's a pretty big check, man.
It is a lot of money, because at the end of the day, like, even for a startup, 3%, that's a lot of money. as a one-man army, if you're serious about your business, you're probably gonna bill, I don't know, like 300,000. So 300,000, that's 3%. That's $9,000. $9,000 a year just to get paid. Again, is it worth to bill yourself? I don't know, because factoring company, in my opinion, provides a lot of good value.
Yeah, I mean, you're literally outsourcing a whole department.
Yes,
Yeah.
you first of all, we do most collections for you. You just do trucking and billing. That's all you do. Everything else, we're gonna do it for you. We're gonna keep on knocking on the customers or brokers' doors. We're gonna help you. Let's say if some broker goes out of business, we're gonna help you through the process of filing on bond. The credit check. Like good luck figuring out which broker to work with and which one not. So factoring companies, it is my understanding all of them, but just to be safe, I would say most of them are gonna offer you free of charge credit check.
Yeah.
And because we are so deep in the industry and we move like not hundreds of invoices, but hundreds of tons of invoices every day, we know a thing or two about brokers that's falling behind and so on. So we are extremely well informed about what's going on with every company, and you don't have to worry about, hey, if this broker is gonna pay, then you get paid a little faster, actually quite a bit faster. You can literally get paid probably in about 1 to 3 days.
Okay.
Instead of waiting for a broker sometimes anywhere between 30 to 90 or sometimes even 100 days.
So that leads us to the last topic, which is services. I mean, are they all pretty much the same, which is the fuel cards, the advances, the app, or is that really a place to, how deep do you look into the services?
I think we have a lot of options. I think I do look at this because, again, like, for example, our fuel discount program is nothing to joke about.
Right.
I think it's a very serious, actually, we got 2 programs, and I think we will save you a lot of money. Is it worth to pay them like some outrageous percentage just to get on that program? No, because every factoring company is going to offer you some sort of a fuel card program.
Okay.
Just, use it, because, we always try to use that sales pitch. Hey, look, forget about the percentage. Just think about the fuel discounts that you're going to get, because that's going to pay for your percentage.
For the 1% of non-recourse.
And we actually correct, because, like if you got a good fuel card program, it's going to pay for that factoring fees.
Yeah.
However, most factoring companies have those programs. Some programs are different than others, but at the end of the day, I think you should always negotiate the lowest rate and still get the best fuel card program that we can offer. And those things you got to pay attention to.
Here we go, guys. So that's just some insight on how big things that you should look for and consider before choosing the factoring company. And like Mike said, we are the home of the Double Down Fuel Card Program. Find out more at 863-342-5171.
Take care, guys.